Hi, everybody. It's Thursday, and it's another episode of Born Again to Live. Before we get started, I just want to give a shout out, Eric, to one of my teens at camp that I know listens fairly regularly. And I love it that she's a high school kid, so I get to I get her opinion on the podcast sometimes. And last few times she's mentioned it, she has told me that our podcast is fire with the little flame emoji. So I think in a high schooler's world, fire is good. So, I probably shouldn't say her full name, but it starts with an L. So Miss L, if you're out there listening, I so appreciate you. I love you. I love that you're listening. And thank you for just cheering us on from the sidelines.
And I know this girl that I haven't seen in quite a while, so I kind of miss seeing her.
Yeah, she'll be back. Don't you worry. But, I know we've talked about this before. She is one of those people that God called me to love.
Yeah.
And it wasn't this big ordeal, because at this point in my life, I had definitely picked up on the obedience thing. And so it was almost just like I was looking at her one day and God just said, her. Like, that was it, her. I'm like, I know what you mean. I got this. I'm on it. So she has just been someone that God has just kind of pulled into my life. And I'm so grateful that I get to speak into her and mentor her. And so, yeah, Miss L, I love you.
Yep. So coming off of the Grace series, I guess, 2 days of grace, I hope you've extended us some grace in this. No, we're trying to not go back into like a big series or anything. But it's not one of those pull over to the side of the road and cry episodes, I hope. But at the same time, if it is, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I did have somebody actually tell us that they were crying over an episode, and I went back and listened. I'm like, why?
Because it's so bad.
I was like, man.
Because your voice is so bad, Eric.
So terrible. Oh, well, that's one of my fears.
Funny you should mention that.
Yeah, that's what our topic today is actually going to be about, is fear. And fun fact, and it's one I like to say out there, that fear not is in the Bible 365 days or times, which is the exact amount of days there are in a year. So how many times should you fear? Never.
That's good.
So, I think we've each picked out our favorite verse, since there's 365 verses that have it. We can each pick out a favorite verse that is about fear. You got yours up and ready?
I do. Yeah. Mine is from 2 Timothy. It's chapter 1, verse 7. And I have this screenshot that I just keep on my phone with a lot of my favorite verses, and sometimes just my go-tos when I need encouragement. But, if there's one life verse for me, it's this one. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of sound mind. Man, those are just the things that I strive to be. Like, that is the Wonder Woman verse, right? I want to be loving. I want to just be powerful. I want to have a sound mind to just do the right thing and to just, live that born again life. What is yours, Eric?
Mine would be Isaiah 41:10, and this is one a lot of people might be familiar with. It gets quoted a lot. Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. And what I really like about that verse, and I love it, it says righteous right hand. Not just, I'll uphold you with my right hand. Like, it's God speaking. It's the righteous right hand. It's all that is good. It's just, I don't know. It gives me a lot of comfort to think of that. So that's my God hug kind of thing.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
There's a lot of people out there who are worried and fearful and stressed out all the time. And when you read those verses, it's kind of hard to, if you really believe God.
Yeah. Yeah. We look, we look a lot to the future sometimes with fear and trepidation, because we don't know what's around the corner. And honestly, I think so much of it comes down to control. And I love how, to me, it was very obvious, but sometimes it takes somebody to say it in a different way for it to really click with you. But it was actually Abby one time was speaking with the kids at Big Blue, and she goes, guys, we get upset because, sometimes we feel like we don't have control of things, but we never have control of things, right? Like, when you really think about it, life is so hard to control. We can't control our health. We can't control, what the weather's doing. We can't control what accidents happen, just any of it. And yet we somehow think every time we think we might have that little bit of control, then we fear we're going to lose it. Yeah. And we never had in the first place. So that's where that fear of the future, that's where the anxiety comes from sometimes, right? You just got to acknowledge that God's got it in his righteous right hand, as you said.
Yeah, fear of the unknown. I mean, that's exactly right. That's if you don't go that and you don't get worried about what's coming tomorrow, you just take it as it comes and know that God's got you and he's going to be holding you right there with his right hand. It's kind of easier to go through life. And I don't find myself very afraid. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, me neither.
I was always funny because in high school, even before being born again, when I was like through high school and stuff, we'd go to corn mazes, haunted corn mazes and haunted houses and all these things. And like, I'd literally get scared. I watch horror movies and it's like, yeah, whatever. Like there's no nightmares in Eric's world. I don't know. Like it's just weird to me that I can't be scared in that realm because I know most of the time it's fake or I can, I'm just not going to be hurt.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess my fears are a little less superficial.
All right. Well, what is one of your bigger fears that you can share with our audience?
Man, I really don't even know my own fears. Like, that's sad to say. I'm not afraid of anything. But my biggest fear would be like not having my kids.
Yeah. Yeah. I would think that's a very natural one.
You know me well enough to know that I'm a pretty about my kids, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Losing my kids or something. I don't want to speak ill will of anything, but like an early death of a kid or something like that. Man, I can't even imagine.
Yeah,
through that. I know there's a lot of people that have. But it wouldn't be something I would want to go through. So that'd probably be a big fear.
Yeah, that loss, and it's always possible, but God does not call us to live in that fear, right? Because anything is possible. All the worst things that you can imagine happening in this life could happen, but we are not called to live in that fear because we don't know. And that is what causes that anxiety and that depression, is just assuming and knowing like, well, it's only a matter of time that this bad thing happens. And, and that, I think that's why I really claim my verse that says God did not give us that spirit of fear, because that spirit of fear will keep us from doing so much in this world, and, including doing his work and talking to people about God, right? Like sometimes it's hard going up to somebody, like you don't know if they're going to punch you in the face and all you want to tell them is Jesus loves you. And I might just go to the hospital for that one. But the fear can just hold you back. And so just that reminder constantly that God did not give me the spirit of fear. And that is always when I feel it creeping up, I'm like, oh no, devil, not today, not today. So, I'm like you, Eric, like there's not much I fear. I will say, like, I've never liked spiders. And, like, I always had that kind of, like, they'd freak me out. I'd go running. Well, so when I really kind of claimed that God, that God has my back in all scenarios, I was like, you know what? It's ridiculous that I'm afraid of spiders. Like, like the whole concept, like, I'm 400,000 times bigger than they are. And, I mean, I've seen some big spiders, but still, I'm way bigger. I've got a competitive edge, let's just say. And so when I moved into the house that I'm at now, which is highly wooded, I don't know what it is, but like in the fall when the spiders would come out, I guess for their last hurrah before they hibernate or die or whatever. But every day I would like open the threshold of the door to go out, and they're all right there. It's like they're having a committee meeting. These big old spiders. And at first I would just shut the door, or I'd just be screaming. And I think I would go out a different door because I was so afraid. And over time, I have just decided they are not going to get the better of me. So nowadays I'm like, oh no, I might squish them with my Croc sandal or something. But other times I'm like, you don't get to live here. You don't get to rule my life. And so I have now a healthy relationship with these spiders. I still don't like them, but I don't fear them like I once did. But oddly enough, as I was driving here and looking at the beautiful mountains and rocks of West Virginia, I was reminded of a time that I kind of I mean, fear is definitely the word I would use here, but I had a friend of mine, this is back in my 20s, right? These are our wild, youthful days when we'll try anything once, right? I went rock climbing up at Seneca Rocks. And well, I'm not a big fan of heights to begin with, but I kind of wanted to try rock climbing. And I remember being like halfway up this rock face. I mean, it wasn't even a mountain. It was just a sheer, straight up fin of granite. And there's, 1,000 feet below me and there's 1,000 feet above me, or I don't know, it's probably only like 300 or 400 feet. It might as well have been a mile, is what it felt like. And the scarier part is not in the beginning when you see how high you're climbing. It's not at the top when you see how far you came. It's the middle where you're stuck. Yeah. You either got to go really far down or really far up. And I just remember like saying to God, like, get me safely home, right? Like, keep me alive, get me safely home, and I'll do anything you ask. And it's funny, like, that might have just been one of those really quick, not even, maybe I didn't mean it kind of thing, but God's like, no, Amy, I'm going to take you at your word. And so, yeah, it was still another 10 years before he was really grooming me. But like we talked about with Moses, like, it takes a while. It takes that time in the desert to get ready for what comes next. And so I'd like to think that fear kind of played a big part maybe in who I am today.
Yeah. I'm a huge music person, and Zach Williams has a song called Fear's Liar.
Mm-hmm.
That's an anthem for me, because if I ever get those moments of like doubt, I don't even call them fear, like it's doubt. And
yeah.
I believe wholeheartedly that we talked about the armor of God, giving Satan a foothold, and allowing him a crack he's going to get through our defenses, but stand firm. But anyways, if you speak about those fears and stuff, I think a lot of times, like, yeah, and not so much that you're allowing him to, but if you open up and say, hey, I'm openly afraid of death or openly afraid of this or that he may use it against you. And you talked about spiders, and the first thing that came to my mind is God put us here to rule over all of earth.
Mm-hmm.
So that's on earth, and that's what we're supposed to rule over as a human. So we can't be afraid of what we're supposed to rule over.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have fear of darkness. I can walk through the middle of the woods in any condition at night and not fear the unknown in that situation. And, most people hear a creaky noise or a howl or something. They're like, oh, no, I'm going to get ate by whatever. I've got this, like, impervious shell around me that God's got me with his righteous right hand. I'm going to either go home or go home.
Yeah.
There's no in between.
Win-win.
It's a win-win. And my kid gets mad at me all the time because I tell him all the time, like, if God called me home today, I'm good with it.
Yeah.
He calls me home, and my son says, you're not allowed to die there.
Isn't that funny? They don't want us to go. We're not allowed.
And he tells me it all the time, and I tell him, well, at my funeral, play this song, and whatever you do, don't cry, because I'm home.
Yeah.
So if you want to know if he's afraid, there's probably something that can scare me out there, or I have some type of fear of. But honestly, that kind of stuff doesn't bother me. Like, even I consider myself a good driver, but driving down the road, I'm not afraid in any point in time, because I feel like, well, I told you the story of the tree. Like, God's got me good enough in his hands that he'll take care of me.
Yeah.
And so the song in my funeral, by the way, is Well Done. Me.
Yeah.
Because that's what I want to hear. I want to hear, well done, my good and faithful sir, the moment I walk in those gates.
That's a good one.
Like I said, I'm a music person. I love music. I love worship music, praise music, all that good stuff.
Well, you said fear is a liar. Do you know who comes to mind when I hear that song is Nikita?
Oh, yes.
She loves that song. So I don't know if you're listening, Nikita, but I'm going to get you listening.
Yes, we love that girl.
Oh, my gosh. You talk about a life.
3-time state wrestling.
Yeah, we're so proud of her. Man, she is a beast. Talk about someone that has no fear. This girl, woo! I once played chicken with her in a pool one time, and seeing her come at me, I was dead in the water, as they say, literally and figuratively. But
have you ever Indian leg wrestled with her?
Actually, I have.
Did you lose?
Of course. Yeah, I think she beat everybody at camp.
There was a night at Big Blue where she was doing that to everybody, and she's like, all right, be down here. And I'm like, I'm old, get over it. And I just remember distinctly that I think it was even Kipton who said, he's stronger than he looks. And she's like, oh, I can take him. So we lay down and we do this. And if you haven't ever seen it, people, like, you literally lock legs and one of you will flip the other one over.
So
And so Nikita's like, all right, you ready? And she says, go. And I flipped her over.
wow.
And she goes, oh, wow. And I'm like, that's right.
You've been served. Pick on someone your own age,
That's
Eric.
right. Pick on people a little warriors tonight. But I thought it was funny because all these other people, they're like, oh, come on, Eric, it's fun. And she lost. It's like, wait, what?
Seriously.
So.
But no, going back to that darkness thing, you know, we've talked about taking like walks outside and everything just as our quiet connection time with God. It is interesting though. Like there is something I too am the same way when it comes to darkness. If anything, I feel God closer to me in the darkness. And maybe it's because I realize I'm standing at this on this fence where I can choose to be fearful or I can choose to like walk in the light. And so I sort of love that challenge. I'm like, I am going to walk through this darkness. And that whole time I'm like, God, you're right there, right? You're right there. And yeah, it's awesome. And I'll say the other thing too that I think is interesting is snakes do not, again, I don't like spiders.
Them,
but they don't freak me out at all. People are terrified of snakes. And I do think it's because I know that, you know, the serpent is the devil. And so he just doesn't get that opportunity to scare me. I won't let a snake scare me.
All right, I want to tell a real quick story about darkness.
Okay.
So if anybody knows where Dolly Sods is at, there was a night, it's in West Virginia, but it's a wilderness area, literally in the middle of nowhere.
Can you spell that? What?
Dolly Sods.
Dolly Sods.
Yeah, Dolly Sods.
Nope, never heard
It's
of
a
it.
wilderness refuge area.
Okay.
It's just this off the beaten path, middle of nowhere, no lights, nothing. And there was a day in the middle of January last year that I don't even ask me why I drove up there in the middle of the night. And I drove up there and it was snowing. It was nasty. And I just remember getting up there and I parked my truck and I had to go to the bathroom. And of course up there's nowhere to go except outside. So I put my phone on the back of my truck, screen up.
Okay.
And when I stood at the back of my truck, I literally couldn't see my own hand in front of my face. It was that dark.
Wow.
Like as dark as a person could see darkness. Like it was as dark as I could imagine.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm in the middle of going to the bathroom and my phone buzzes. And that little light from my phone lit up like 15 feet around me.
Wow.
And so actually the next night was Big Blue and Amy was speaking. And I remember distinctly that she was speaking and that God spoke to me in that moment and said, darkness can never overcome light, but light can overcome darkness. And I showed you it.
Nice.
And I just remember so clearly that light overcome all of that darkness, that when I was standing there in that isolated spot, that it was like, boom.
Yeah.
He showed me that the next night, and I was like, wow, that's so clear.
I do remember talking about that with the kids. Yeah. That's awesome.
So don't let the fear get to you. That's it. I go back to the verses. There's 365 times it says in the Bible, fear not. So
yeah. And it's a process. I think that's a process too, right? You gotta work on it. You really gotta like distill why you're afraid of something, or is this really worthy of being fearful? And can I just give this to God? Much like your forgiveness, Eric, just keep asking God, like, take the fear away, take the fear away, take the fear away.
And when you feel that fear, pray.
Yeah.
When you feel that elevated heart rate and all those things that actually people get thrills out of being scared. So
yeah.
If you feel that and you start to feel yourself shutting down or whatever, just kind of, God, I need you right now.
Yeah.
And he will honor your prayers.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so it's a Thursday, right?
It is Thursday.
So we're going to hit a couple of names of God, right?
Let's do it.
All right, I'll take the first one because it's easy.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, okay.
All right, so we got Jehovah Nissi, which is the Lord our banner. It's God on the battlefield, from the word which means to glisten or to lift up. So if you're fearful, pray to Jehovah Nissi, who will uphold you in that moment.
So mine is Yahweh Mekadesh. Yahweh Mekadesh.
Sounds good to me.
Right? Or Jehovah Mekadesh. And it is translated into the Lord who sanctifies, to make whole or set apart for holiness. That is what sanctification is. And that in Leviticus 28, it says, you must be sure to obey my statutes. I am the Lord who sanctifies you. So yeah, the whole process of sanctification, and again, it also is a process. It is going from being born again to being more like Jesus, to making us holy. And again, that word translated is set apart. God's holy people were set apart for him. They were his people, his family. And so the sanctification process, it is a lifetime process. It is not finished until you are with the Lord Jesus in heaven. But on this earth, we just work through these steps of trying to be more loving, trying to be more patient. It is about being more like Jesus.
Yep. And again, we do these names because as the children of Israel went into the promised land and out of Egypt in the Exodus part, God had to show who he was. And so as he was doing so, he was revealing parts of his character so they could understand more of the whole. And so that's why we're breaking down these names and helping you get to there. So these are the two that we're going to do for the day. So we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Hey guys, thank you for tuning in today. I really love this show. Joined in and you got this far. So here's a few things that we've asked for you to do. Please go to whatever platform you're on, because we're on all the major platforms. And if you're listening to this, you know that. So like, subscribe, share, and invite others to listen. Also, we have a Facebook page, Born Again to Live, the podcast. So go there. Send us prayer requests, comments, whatever you want. It's all there. Private message. If you need answers to questions or any of that, we're there for you. So, thanks again.